In violence, we forget who we are. But in my situation, my dog forgot who he was. Yes, I would like to narrate a small incident. I had 2 pet lovebirds named Happy and Sweetie. And also I had 2 dogs, which was actually my neighbor, Gurkha's dog. But habitually in the evening times, I used to provide them some food, and also I used to take my lovebirds outside to the terrace and balcony to socialize them. The same way, one fine evening, I took my lovebirds outside to the balcony and I was sitting. Meanwhile, within few minutes, one of the 2 dogs named Lucky came near me and it was standing. I was just casual until I knew Lucky was going to attack my bird's cage. I was really shocked and I shouted and called my mom, and my mom was terrified by seeing what was just happening over there. Then we tried stopping the dog by shouting at it, but it did not work out. So my mom handed me over a stick and she asked me to beat the dog because we have no other choice and we also need to save the lives of the birds, right? So I started to beat the dog, and after 5 minutes, it did not even react to it and its aggressiveness towards the birds did not decrease. So I thought that this is just time waste and we need to think up of another idea. So an idea popped up inside my mind, which was, usually while I am with the dog, I used to say, Lucky, you're a good boy, good boy. And whenever I said it, Lucky would even, whatever he's doing, it would even stop doing it, come near me and wag its tail. So I thought that at least my words could change Lucky's mind. So I moved a few steps aside and I started to say, Lucky, you're a good boy, good boy. And immediately once Lucky heard it, it just left the bird's cage abandonedly and came near me and started to wag its tail. So my mom used this time and she took the bird's cage inside the house. So the point is that when I showed violence towards the dog, did it react to it? No. But when I showed my kindness through peaceful words, it made the dog understand my feelings and it left the bird's cage. When a 5-sensed animal could understand the power of words, why can't humans? We have 6 senses, right? The same applies on our lives. Whatever hard conflict you're undergoing, making the person understand through your peaceful words are all that matters. And in this case, history has been a proof. Over thousands of wars had occurred in different periods between different nations. And in all these, peace played a vital role in ending these wars and sometimes even preventing some of them. In other words, while war destroys and disrupts, peace builds and strengthens. Violence affects us all. It's not just you or me. It affects millions of people around the world. Their families, schools, communities, everyone. Violence can cause significant physical injuries and mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Violence is the least desirable way to resolve a conflict, and the most accepted reason to prove this is it originates more violence through emotional remorses such as revenge and guilt. It is just a short-time primitive response and it does not have a long-time cure. The best way to show that non-violence is better is how Gandhi dealt with the Britishers in acquiring freedom. Gandhi firmly believed that the truth in this world can only be achieved through non-violence. And a truthful person will never ever be violent in his words, thoughts, or deeds. To him, to exercise non-violence, we require more greater power and bravery than what a soldier requires. Now that, we have understood non-violence is a better way while we resolve conflicts. But our future generation also need to know them, right? And in this case, parents play the vital role in making their child understand this. But parents nowadays are running for work and they have no time to spend with their children. And the stress caused, like work stress, financial stress, causes the husband and wife to fight in between them. In some worse cases, they could even beat each other. So these are the roots where a child develops in a violent way. Kids observe everything. So only when the husband and wife are in a good relationship with each other and have you solve conflicts calmly, the child will observe the same and develop like that in the future. And also, well, spending time with your child is also really important because a recent research has proven that even the most violent person could change into a happier and calmer person while people are around them. Our family and our workplace is interrelated. Wondering why? Yes, because in our family we find happiness and at the same time we face conflicts, right? The same way in our workplace also we face a lot of conflicts, but we love working there. The same way, like a recent research has proven that almost 20 to 40% of an employee and employer's time are just getting wasted in resolving conflicts. So, as an employee, talk directly to the person you have the problem with. Just don't go bang the wall or throw a stone on the wall or complain to everyone else about your problem. Is this going to find a solution? Of course not. Talk directly to the person you have the problem with, and of course you're going to find a solution. And how important speaking is, the same way, listening is also really important. Whomever you're speaking with, listen. Listen to what the other person is saying rather than interrupting them, and you'll also understand their point of view about the situation. So, as an employer, listen to all the parties involved before you could make a decision, because your decisions are also going to be affected by them. And because of doing this, the problems arise to you will reduce. And also encourage them that teamwork is really important, because when they work as a team, they could gain mutual understanding in between the colleagues and the problems will reduce. So, usually while I am in a conflict, I used to solve it by following some of these steps, and I'm glad to share that with you. The first step is that before a conflict. Before a conflict, develop a constructive attitude that your goal is only about, it's not about winning the argument, and your goal is only about understanding and mutual gain. If you set your goal as winning the argument and people think that they are in a debate, and even if they're wrong, they try to prove themselves. But if you have that attitude, you won't find the solution. Focus on only the solution, and for that, your goal needs to be set as understanding and mutual gain. During a conflict, I recently read a story on the internet where a man went to a grocery store and he observed a woman and her daughter shopping. So they went past the cookie section and the girl started to ask her mom for cookies, and the mom said no. And immediately the girl started to cry and she created a fuss out of it. Then the mom said quietly that, Monica, it's just 5 more aisles and you could go to the billing counter. And they went to the next section, which was the candy section. And the girl started to shout out for candies. And the mom still stayed calm and she said, Monica, it's just 2 more aisles and you could go to the billing counter, there. And they went to the billing counter. The girl again spotted the gum bar section. So the girl started to create a terrible tantrum out of it and she cried out loud. The whole supermarket was watching at her. So the mom still stayed patient and she said that, Monica, it's just 5 more minutes and you could finish billing and go home and have a nice nap. Please control. So the man was watching everything behind them, and after he finished billing his products, he went to the parking lot and he spotted them again over there. He could not control himself to compliment the mother on how well she handled the conflict. So he approached them and he said to the mom that, "You handled your little girl Monica really well and really calm." Then the mom interrupted him and she said that, "I am Monica and my little girl's name is Tammy." So the whole time she was talking to herself. So whenever while you're in a conflict, talk to yourself by telling that, stay calm, relax, cool down, and take a deep breath. While you say this and run this inside your mind, it could calm you down, and this will be a practice for you in your upcoming conflicts. After a conflict, if the conflict is unresolved, tell yourself that maybe there'll be another time to talk about it again. And if the conflict is resolved, tap yourself and say, staying calm helps me solve conflicts. Very good. These are little motivations which you could give yourself, and this will help you feel really relaxed. To sum it up, violence carries only the power to compel actions and not the power to persuade opinions. Conflict is rooted in the thoughts and feelings of a person, and to get a solution, you need to change their minds about it. It's clearly the work of you and me, not the army. Peace is not an absence of conflict, it is the ability to handle conflicts in peaceful means.